get this show on the road, shall we? Also, I apologize if my voice was not projecting. My microphone was beside me and not in front of me. But we are underway now. And I know how that feels. Mallix right off the bat getting a little wall kick there. Rather than climbing the wall. Prologue can be embarrassing to screw up in, for sure. Though it doesn't happen very often. I do have a pretty large desync, but I'm sure that will more than likely be fixed. So Mallix losing maybe 6-7 tenths of a second there in the prologue. Not that it matters at all. Prologue is a very minimal part of the run. Very hard to, you know, really do poorly unless you somehow die towards the end, which does happen, believe it or not. Alex gonna go for the reverse hyper here. Nope. Rather just takes the easy way down. That's the second time I've seen that that path taken today, and I'm very surprised. The reverse hyper is an interesting strat, though. It can be costly if you do mess it up a couple times, especially seeing how short Chapter 1 is. JJplaysgames goes for it and gets it first try, though, and is going to make up some time there on Mallix, no doubt. Mallix also taking a death there. Mallix now in the last room of Chapter 1. Sorry, the second last room. Now in the last room of Chapter 1. Oh, gets a wall bounce instead of that. Oh, we're gonna screw that up again. That's 2 in a row now from Mallix on the third tries to charm. Yep, absolutely. JJ taking a death there, though, so Mallix is gonna finish, I do believe that's at 212. Yeah, Mallix finishes at 212. And unfortunately, the desync in the two streams here is going to make it a little confusing right off the bat. But if JJplaysgames is able to make it out, yeah, no problem. So he's got about a 8-second lead right now on Mallix, despite Mallix's stream being ahead. It's one of the most interesting things about tournaments that go off of in-game time. It's the whole fact that, you know, someone could look like they're ahead on IGT, or sorry, in RTA, but actually be behind on IGT. Can be very confusing, no doubt. Mallix not getting his dash back there, unfortunately. There's JJ breaking through. And Mallix getting set to start up the battle in phase. Ooh, goes for the double diagonal. Doesn't get that, though. Decides to go for it again and gets it on the second try, though. Unfortunately, takes a death in the room following. Mallix maybe getting, you know, a little bit nervous. The race nerves, the elimination round nerves. Could be popping in here in the early game, but it's good to get the jitters out early. If you're going to have a bad early game, make sure you have a good end game. A wall bounce there too as JJplaysgames. This last room, as soon as I was about to say it could be costly to take a death in, Mallix unfortunately does take a death there. And also even more unfortunate to take a death towards the bottom, but makes it through on the second try, no problem. So JJplaysgames, if able to get through this without a death, could make up some pretty good time, and it looks like he's going to. Absolutely. Very good Chapter 2 from JJplaysgames. It's all just going to be about the movement towards the end now. So Mallix finishing up with a 210. Finishing up on 426. JJplaysgames should be at least... That's a 13-second lead right now for JJplaysgames, so extending it even more through Chapter 2. Good stuff from JJ. Unfortunately, Mallix having a little bit of trouble in those early chapters, but like I said, it's good to get the jitters out early if you're going to have a couple bad chapters. We'll see how Chapter 3 treats both of our runners here. Chapter 3 can also be a doozy, especially for losing time and being nervous. It's very, very possible to mess things up here. Mallix off to a very clean start in terms of movement. JJ waiting about a half a cycle longer in that room than Mallix did. Wow, very interesting strat in that room from Mallix. Those dust bunnies were hot on his tail there for sure. Unfortunately, taking a death in that room following as well. Not too costly, but a death is a death. On JJ's side, entering that room now as well. A bit safer of a strat on JJ's side. As Mallix picks up the key and he's about ready to get into the huge mess section. JJ unfortunately missing that key just slightly though. So Mallix touches up at Oshiro at 610, I believe that was. And JJ is going to touch up at still a 13-second lead. So basically nothing's changed from the end of the second chapter. I'm going to do my best to keep up with the timers on the screens for each of our runners, just so I can tell you how far ahead and how far behind each of the runners are from each other, considering that the streams aren't completely in sync. I'll do my best to, but forgive me if my math is a bit off in one or two places. JJplaysgames gonna... Ooh, Mallix, there's no way to save that, unfortunately. Has no way to get back up and get a dash back. Also, it is worth mentioning that this tournament is double elimination, so there's an upper and lower bracket. The losers of these rounds will play in the lower bracket matches after, so you have to lose twice to be out. So yeah, it's definitely worth a shout that the loser of this match will not be finished yet. Oh, Mallix unfortunately taking it up there. Gonna have to use the slower cycle here in this room. Touches that bubble at 7:45, so let's see when JJ touches up on that bubble. So down to about a 10-second lead, but JJ's still ahead. Not by much. Very close race so far. It's worth noting. Very, very close race so far. So Mallix now in the elevator shaft section with few long rooms. Few of the rooms can be very costly to die in. Didn't graze the wall there. I thought that he might have and had to go back and do that again, but nope. Very, very lucky not to have touched the wall. Mallix about to come into the key room. 3 really quick chained hypers here. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately missing the last one. There is 4 in total. 4 chained hypers. Grab the key, retry, and it spawns you back at the start of the room. You don't lose the key either. Very neat little strat. Looks really cool when pulled off good. See if JJ can get it first try and make up some time. No, they both take a death in the exact same spot. And yes, this tournament and every race in the tournament, and on the leaderboards as well, run off of in-game time, IGT. So Mallix now in the Oshiro fight, the first boss fight in quotation marks of the game. You're not really fighting the boss, he's more just chasing you, again, kind of similar to Battlein in the last chapter. Moves on a horizontal plane, that little lightning bolt tells you exactly where he's coming from and, or sorry, exactly what trajectory he's going to cross the screen on. And bouncing off of his head replenishes Madeline's dash as well, it's worth noting. So this last room that Mallix is about to head into will be very costly to take a death in. Somehow is able to avoid being hit by the one that was dropping down there. It kind of looked like it went right through Madeline's head. And Mallix finishing at 10:01. A pretty good Chapter 3, not going to lie. So it kind of looks like this is going to be extra close now in terms of who's in the lead. Also, we're getting a synchronization here. In case you were wondering why Mallix's stream stopped, are we going to be tied? Oh my. We are basically tied right now. JJ has fallen behind, but only by tenths of a second. So entering Chapter 4, we've got both runners basically neck and neck. So Mallix obviously making some time up there. Also apologize for the no audio. There's no audio on JJ's side apparently. It's dead silent when we switched over there, so... So yeah, the sync is now just slightly off, but it's much closer now. Also, Mallix has taken the lead now by a pretty comfortable margin. About 5 or 6 seconds now compared to the 13-second behind. Good job by Mallix to make that up in Chapter 3, especially at the end. Chapter 4 primary mechanic, for those of you who don't know, being the wind. The wind clouds and moving platforms. So you're going to see an auto-scroller skip here from Mallix. There are 3 different ways that can be done. Make that 4. Sorry. There, now you've got the perfect sync. Mallix going to go for the safe one. Oh my. And JJplaysgames is in the lead again. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a dang close race so far. These are the ones that I like to commentate. Also, yes, that strat that Mallix attempted in the auto-scroller room is something that I have never seen before. So I apologize. I said that there was only 3 ways of going about that. Apparently there's 4. Oh no! Okay, JJplaysgames able to save that rather than panicking, which is good. Mallix just slightly ahead of JJ now. Unfortunately, there's no way to skip this auto-scroller that Mallix is in right now. JJplaysgames is there as well now. You have to wait for that block to come all the way across, which is very unfortunate. See how Mallix handles this long room upwards here. Very good stuff. Made it look very easy. As you can see, JJ taking the easier, the basic strat for this room, which is completely fine. Mallix, unfortunately, taking a death there, and taking another one as well. Giving JJ a bit of time to catch back up here. This is very close. Mallix trying to do his best to get away from JJ here. And so far doing very, very well at that. So a death from either here would be very, very costly. On JJ's side, put him farther behind. Mallix would lose his lead, more than likely, with a costly death. Mallix able to escape Chapter 4 and the last little section of that chapter completely unscathed. 13:30, so you're looking at probably about a 10-second lead. 9-second lead for Mallix right now. Compared to the tie that we had basically going in, so still a very, very even match here. Chapter 5 can be a make or break here, no doubt about that. It's crunch time for both of our runners here. The later sections of Chapter 5 can be the reason you win or lose a race. JJ, oh, taking a very, very costly and unfortunate death there. It's going to take 2, and that's going to give Mallix a nice, comfortable cushion now in terms of the lead. Mallix going to go for this. Unfortunately, misses it the first time. Going to try again. Gets it on the second try. Doesn't get the corner boost there, but that strat's very, very hard to pull off perfectly. So props to Mallix for even getting the first part of that. JJ Plays Games now about to enter that same big room that Mallix was just in. So Mallix probably with about a 20-second lead now. JJ elects not to go for that strat, so does make up a little, maybe a little bit of time. Mallix, unfortunately, not on the perfect cycle there. Had to wait for a second. That's one of the only cycle-based rooms in the first section of Mirror Temple. Actually, one of the only cycle-based rooms in the entirety of Mirror Temple. Oh, what a save from JJ Plays Games on that side. Ran out of stamina and was just able to clutch that out. And squeezes between those two saw blades there and makes it out. Somehow without a death. Mallix now entering the unraveling section. JJ Plays Games not far behind him at all. So keep your eyes open for a death on either side because they can be very, very costly. However, Mallix looks like he's kind of started to accustom himself. Also, JJ's timer is ahead by a little bit, so you are probably going to see a slight difference. A 3-second difference. Mallix taking a death in this room, not very costly, so he doesn't really have to worry about it. Taking 2, though, however, could cause a bit of problems. Taking 3 in the same room. That Seeker just griefing him a little bit there, which gives JJ a little bit of time to catch up. Still pretty far behind. However, any time made up is, you know, time made up, so it's good stuff for JJ in terms of a recovery. This last room, very, very big. Mallix doesn't want to take a death here. No one wants to take a death here. It can be very costly. Very, very good stuff, though, completely avoiding a death. JJ, unfortunately, not going for that top one first, missing it, and taking a death in one of the smaller rooms, actually. So Mallix about to enter search, or is in the search section, about to do search skip right there. That saves about 3 minutes for those of you who don't know. There's a large section, that large room before that room. Basically, you're supposed to search around for a key and whatnot. It takes about 3 minutes of in-game time. But Mallix, yes, now with a comfortable lead for sure. Now entering the Theo section, which can be very, very make or break in terms of this chapter. Let's see if Mallix is able to get through this clean. And there's the commentator's curse as he takes a death in this room. Not very costly, however. Only losing about a couple seconds, probably. Able to make it through this room without much problem. I was about to say without problem, but he did have a little bit of an issue there. However, made it out pretty well. And JJplaysgames now entering the Theo section as well. Elects to climb the wall rather than throw Theo over. That's a strat that a lot of the runners still use, including myself, actually. Oh, JJplaysgames now. He's got that Seeker in an interesting spot. Not where he would want it, for sure. Mallix not getting the boost from that moving platform, and that Seeker wanted his tail. However, was unable to get it thanks to that barrier, saving Mallix there. Oh, JJ having a little bit of... Oh, he's having a pretty hard time right now with that top lock. Could have taken a death as well, which would have cost him more time. Mallix finishing up that last room without issue. So each of our runners having... Oh, bad death there from JJplaysgames. That's very unfortunate. And very unlucky to push him that far back. Oh, and the Seeker giving him the extra boost there almost caused him another, which would have been poor, poor, poor. Not poor on his side, it would have been poor as in it would have sucked. I'm not calling JJ a bad runner. Sometimes I say things that sound like they're being directed at the other runners, but I don't mean it at all. Or I don't mean it that way at all, sorry. Never be derogatory to another Celeste runner. So Mallix now entering Chapter 6. Will we see a leg skip? It's Mallix, more than likely. Oh, absolutely. Will it be a first try? No, it won't. Unfortunately, taking a death there. Going for it again and gonna get it on the second try, no problem. There's two ways, there are more than two ways, actually, of doing that leg skip there. One of those ways is climbing that wall like Mallix did, but there are still a good chunk of people who do it the way it was originally found, which is dashing out of the water up the wall. Mallix taking an interesting death in that room as JJ finishes up Chapter 5 now. Still a close race, no doubt about it. However, like I said, Mallix is kind of warmed up now. It looked like Mallix might have been nervous in the early game, had a little bit of trouble in Chapter 1 and 2, started to warm up Chapter 3, had a decent 4 and a pretty good 5, so... Like you said, or like I said, sorry, it's definitely better to get those jitters out early. Taking a death in this room. Not too costly. Gonna get that drop block as well in time. That's very, very nice from Mallix. JJ not gonna go for leg skip and is probably gonna make up time actually on Mallix by not going for leg skip. Albeit not very much, but it is still a time save. Mallix taking a death in the upper room of this section. Mallix not having the cleanest movement, sorry, that I've seen from him today. However, still doing very, very well. Like I said, there is a slight skill difference between these two runners, however. It's still a very close race. Much closer than I anticipated, at least. I think the largest lead we've seen all run is probably the lead that Mallix has right now. So we'll get another time update whenever Mallix goes and talks to the old lady here coming up. Yeah, JJ definitely not far behind whatsoever. So Mallix touching up on Grandma at 21:43, I think it was. Yeah, he made it to the Grandma at 21:43. And now we'll wait and see how long it takes JJ to get there. Mallix making it through that room without any issue. That very, very long down room or descending room can be pretty painful if you do take a death towards the end. Also, yeah, I didn't realize how weird that sounded until afterwards, so I apologize. Mallix gonna go for the battle and boost here, no doubt. And he's gonna get it. Nice, good stuff. Very, very fun to watch someone do that. So yeah, we're seeing about I think that was a 48-second lead right now for Mallix. So JJ has definitely fallen behind in the later chapters, which was to be expected thanks to the skill difference. However, mistakes do happen. We've seen crazy stuff so far this tournament, so you never know. Oh, so let's get some hey-yas in the chat. My favorite part of the game by a long shot. JJ, like I said, taking a death there in this long room, however, did it the more simple way and got the checkpoint, so not as costly as it would have been for Mallix had he taken a death there. So JJ, from what we can see, probably not going to go for the battle and boost. More of an abridged version, which still was a little faster, for sure. So, both of our runners now in the battle line fight. Mallix, unfortunately, going to take his first death of the fight right there. I think JJ is still yet to take a death, if I'm not mistaken. Now watch the commentator's cursor. You ready? Anytime now. Anytime now it'll kick in. Mallix just blitzing through this entire section. Oh, JJ with a great save there, avoiding those fireballs. Very good. Mallix now in the second phase of the fight. Having no trouble really besides that one death, and it was very, very not very, very minor. Did not waste that much time at all. JJ making his final descent through the first part of the chapter here now. Or the first part of the fight, sorry. Unfortunately has a ways to go to make up for the time that he's lost, and Mallix seems to have no signs of stopping anytime soon. Also, yo, shoutouts to David in the chat. What's up, man? Mallix finishing up chapter 6, having a bit of trouble exiting the room. Gonna get that level up through the power of friendship. We now have 2 dashes. A very, very nice 647 from Mallix there. Without those deaths, that probably could have been a 630. Very, very good stuff. Also, I guess some Discord sounds on Mallix's side. Probably going out now. Pardon me, I don't know why I'm yawning. I can tell that Mallix definitely just went out and muted his Discord. That was very funny, I'm sorry. JJ in the last room of Chapter 6 now. Can he make it out without a death? I hope so. Oh, yes. Is going to do that. Indeed. So the lead's been extended to about, I would say probably upwards to 1.5 minutes now. On Mallix's side. Again, the loser of this race is not out. They will be relegated to the lower bracket. However, they still have a chance to make one final push to the end of the tournament. So no one is finished until they lose a game in the lower bracket. If you want to see the bracket and schedule, type !! Celeste in the chat so you can maybe understand the format a bit better. JJ unfortunately taking a death in the first room of Summit Base, not only once, but twice. As Mallix almost through the 500-meter section. This is that wall bounce, unfortunately, gonna have to waste a little bit of time, however, not much at all. And has that time to waste for sure. Could probably take 2 or 3 deaths and still be fine. JJ definitely has some ground to make up if he wants to win this now. Not completely out of reach. Nothing is impossible. However, it is definitely a very, very comfortable lead now for Mallix, who is now in the 1,000-meter section, as JJ is basically just now starting off the 500 meters. Also, for those of you who don't know or haven't noticed already, each of the sections of the summit is based off of one of the chapters. So the base is meant to be something like Chapter 6, 500 meters, Chapter 1, 1,000 meters, Chapter 2, 1,500 is Chapter 3, so on and so forth. You get the memo. So Mallix now into the 1,500-meter section based on the Chapter 3. And, in my opinion, probably one of the harder sections, not only of the casual play of this game, but the speedrun as well. Although there are some very interesting strats. Mallix with a decent save there. Able to preserve that cycle, though. Had to wait an extra one, unfortunately, but... And JJ making it through 500 meters without problem. Also, yeah, it's worth noting that if JJ Plays Games... if his SRC time is accurate, then he is definitely on PB pace right now. Also, that room looks like a dog. Can we get a Frankerzy in the chat? I'm not sure if you caught that on Mallix's side, but we'll see it again on JJ Plays Games side when he gets there. Trust me, when you see it, you will not unsee it. Shoutouts to TGH for forever changing that room for me. Also, yo, rip Frankerzy, guys. I know that's old news, but every time I say Frankerzy now, I just remember that he passed away. So very, 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 very sad stuff. Can we get another Frankerzy in memorial of Frankie? Mallix in the 2,000-meter section now. You're gonna see an auto-scroller skip coming up. Oh, nearly avoiding that snowball. Can be a bit finicky at times, the snowballs can, if you're on a weird cycle. Mallix gonna go for this auto-scroller skip and get it no problem at all. So JJ, yeah, definitely on PB pace if he continues this pace, and if his SRC time is accurate. But yeah, I would think that by the way I'm seeing JJ play, I think his time is probably better. And Mallix taking an unfortunate death there. Not really a death on more than a retry because of a misstrat. So here we go in JJ's room right now. There it is, the dog in the middle. It looks like a little poodle. Frankerzy. Mallix now in the very, very well-known and very, very well-memed 2,500 meters. And you know what comes next. Mallix going to go for this key skip here. Having a little bit of trouble with it. Can be a bit finicky at times as well, but gets it on the... I think that was the third try. Had to take a death though, unfortunately, but like I said, has that time. JJ not going to go for that auto-scroller skip on the other side, which is very respectable. It's not an easy thing to do whatsoever. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Mallix going for the door skip. Gets it, the first one. Can he get the second one? Absolute madman. The verified run. It's just so gorgeous. It's just so incredible to watch. Guys, we've been blessed with another perfect door skip from Mallix. Guys, can we just... I'm speechless. Like, I actually don't have words. It was just so good. It was so good. Whew, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. I was afraid he was going to miss that one. I'll tell you that much. Okay, Mallix now in 3,000 meters, the final climb, as JJ finishing up to 2,000 meters. You know, it's really bad when you make yourself laugh. Oh, goodness. So, the 3,000 meter section basically throws a mechanic you know and probably hate by now, which is the wind, at you again. However, this time it's pushing you down and boosting you up. Ooh, Mallix skipping a checkpoint there, very bold. Is it going to pay off? Absolutely. He said, screw flag 24, thank you very much, and just went. JJ getting the key skip there. Oh, Mallix might run out of stamina here. Oh, somehow able to save that. JJ coming up on the door skip as well now as well. Will he go for it? You bet he will. He gets the first one. Are we going to see 2 door skips? Yes, we are. My goodness, everybody. Clap that up. Can we get some hype in the chat? We just saw 2 door skips successfully. I'm blown away. I am just blown away. Absolutely baffled. Mallix is also now in the updraft section. I apologize for falling behind on the commentary. I'm a bit slow today for some reason. Mallix getting that little wall jump there. Mallix didn't have to go back there to replenish his dash. Both runners now in 3,000 meters, but I think it is safe to say that Mallix has a pretty comfortable lead now and really doesn't have that much to worry about. Please, commentator's curse, do not screw him up. JJ plays games, unfortunately taking a death there. Gonna take 2, actually, as Mallix now in the very, very final climb now. In the very, very final climb. My English is not very good today either. So there you have it. Mallix will be proceeding in the upper bracket with a 35-39 final time. And unfortunately, JJ Plays Games will be relegated to the lower bracket. However, he is not out of the tournament yet. Expect the lower bracket matches to be very, very close as well. GG's to Mallix on the victory. Very, very good stuff. Also, unfortunately, we don't have sound on JJ's side. So, I don't know if someone from Speed Gaming just wants to play some background music instead or something while JJ finishes up the summit here, but we're not going to have any sound. So JJ Plays Games now in the last section of 3,000 meters. Neutral without wind. Looking like it's going to be a pretty good time. Nonetheless, probably going to be a mid-37. That is giving he doesn't take a really costly death or something. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a mid-37 time here for JJ Plays Games. Gonna finish up here with a 37-23. A good run nonetheless, but unfortunately not going to be good enough to take the W here. So Mallix is your winner. And there you have it. There are your final times. JJ Plays Games actually with less deaths than Mallix. Wow. That's not what I was expecting to see. I'll tell you that much. Very, very good stuff from both runners. So we do have JJ Plays Games. Drag him in here. And we have JJ Plays Games with us.
Yo.
GG on the race, dude.
GG.
So, the first thing I noticed right away when I saw both of your guys' ending screens here is that you actually have less deaths than Mallix.
Yeah.
You have 26, he has 29.
I mean, I guess, like, I was kind of expecting that since the strats I do go for are extremely consistent. Except for the ending. I realized I was, like, a minute behind. I went for, like, every strat I could have gone for.
Yeah. Taking risks is, you know, I mean, it's an elimination round match, so it's definitely worth the risk at that point.
That was almost a low death PB. My lowest death PB is, like, a 22.
22,
so,
that's impressive. I think my lowest is like 30 something. If
and
I'm
just
not
to
mistaken.
just to make a clarification for everyone, my PV is a 36:39. My speedrun.com PV. No one should care about that because I'm lazy.
Okay, I was gonna say it looked by the way that you were playing that you were much better than a 39. We also have Mallix in here as well now. I just noticed when I looked over. GG's on the race, dude.
Thank you.
I could tell by your reaction in chat, you weren't too pleased with the race, or with the run in general, but a win's a win, I suppose.
Yeah, I just died a lot of times, but
yeah.
I think I went to some pretty fast strats that I just hadn't practiced enough. I should have definitely done some 90% runs beforehand.
Yeah, it's always good to keep yourself, you know, up and practiced when it comes to a tournament like this for sure, which is something that I need to do myself. I haven't played the game in a while, so.
I was keeping it surprisingly close against you until the beginning of Chapter 5 with the skip that I was always messing up.
Let me tell you right now, this race was like extremely close. You guys were literally tied coming out of Chapter 4.
I wasn't even
tied coming out of Chapter 3, sorry. Mallix pulled ahead in Chapter 4, but you guys were literally tied. Not exactly, like there was tenths of a second separating you guys, but basically tied coming out of Chapter 3.
Yeah,
which was pretty impressive. I love races like that.
I guess I could say that I'm used to it because the last race that I had was extremely close. Like it was like 15 seconds apart, like throughout the entire race.
And those are the more exciting. Those are the very, very exciting races to commentate. And this race was very exciting to commentate. It was definitely a good race.
It was a good race.
Yeah. I'll definitely look it up, the bot afterwards.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch, especially.
I did.
I always watch back all of my races to see the mistakes I make and stuff. See what I can improve on. It's always good to see.
Yeah. I do find it kind of ironic, though, that the strat that I was practicing at the beginning of Mirror Temple, like, I never got M runs. I practiced it, got consistently, did no reset, failed it a bunch of times, tried again, I just still couldn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of the time. You could practice something for 3 hours, try it in a real run, and mess it up. That's speedrunning for you, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess closing thoughts, guys?
Good luck in your future races. Yeah, that's all I could say. It was a good race.
Yeah, it was a good race, and good luck to you too.
Thanks.
Yeah, again, let it be known that JJplaysgames is not eliminated yet.
Yeah.
There is still the lower bracket for him to tear through if he does make a push still.
Yeah.
So, but Mallix moves on in the upper bracket. So GG's to Mallix, GG's to JJ. Thanks for an entertaining race, guys. It was a lot
Thanks
of
for
fun.
commentating.
You're welcome, and thanks for commentating. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. So make sure to follow the runners, and feel free to follow me as well. And yeah, I guess that just about wraps it up. So from me and Speed Gaming, wish you guys a good rest of your night. I'm sure there's plenty more to come on the Speed Gaming channel, so stay tuned for more speedruns. There is another race actually happening on Speed Gaming 4 in actually just in 1 hour now at 8 Eastern. So if you're craving more Celeste, feel free to head over there. And yeah, I guess we'll close it off there. Thanks for watching, everybody, and take care.
Bye-bye.